It's Friday night basketball from deep in Cumberland County as it's two teams looking to keep their upswing in 2026. It's the Gloucester Catholic Rams and the Cumberland Colts facing off in Tri-County Conference basketball on this Friday night. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Ben Wilden on the call this evening. This is our second time in the Cumberland gym this year. It's our third time seeing the Colts and a Cumberland program that has been on the upswing for the first time in a long time. They're looking to get their first over 500 season since 2017. But Lamont Robinson Jr. is not alone. He has had a great renaissance here with this program, 11-7. They are 9-3 in their last 12 games, and two of those losses were non-conference Cape Atlantic schools in Millville and Vineland, and they beat Bridgeton here last week. So Cumberland's got a lot to like about this team. They went 2-22 2 years ago, 6-21 last year. Cumberland's back on the map.
Yeah, I think Cumberland, it's really important for them to get back on track here tonight. I mean, they've been playing some tough competition lately. You know, they just got back from a game against Deptford, tough Deptford team, top in the Group 3. So I think it's a really important game for power points here and for get the Colts back on track here in their campaign. A player that I want to watch and highlight tonight is Pat Crawford, a really great center down low. I really want to see him use his size and ability, definitely against players like Elijah Fufana, that, you know, is really tall, but I think one thing that he can do is draw fouls, which is going to be really important for him tonight.
Yeah, no, Ben, you're absolutely right that Fofana drew a lot of fouls, Crawford drew a lot of fouls versus Fofana, when Fofana, we last saw him in December. He fouled out of the game versus Audubon. But for Gloucester Catholic, they're 8-8. They're without one of their leading scorers. You mentioned one of their Gary Williams. He's out with an injury right now. For Gloucester Catholic, they're 8-8. They got moved into the Tri-County Royal Division for the first time last year. They were originally in the Classic, which has teams like Pittman, Salem, Wildwood, Clayton. They are definitely still fitting in playing the big schools, but it's been an adjustment for third-year head coach Brandon Doherty, who had a 15-13 year last year, 13-17 last year, 15-13 in his first season as head coach, and now he's off to an 8-8 start midway through 2025-26. But you're talking about Cumberland's power points. For Cumberland, they were 21st of 21 in South Jersey Group 3 power points in last season. They not only missed the playoffs, they were dead last. So for Lamont Robinson Jr. to turn around this Colts program to go from the bottom of the barrel in Group 3 now to being 7th in Group 3 South Jersey and possibly having a first-round home game here in Seabrook is going to be huge. But I agree about Pat Crawford. He's got 262 points this year as a sophomore. He's up over 625 points in his first two seasons with Cumberland already. So there's a lot to like about the forward, but he's got a great 1-2 punch with Caleb Green, and Cumberland's going to be great to watch tonight.
Yeah, and Dan, like you said about Gloucester Catholic moving back to the Royal Division, I think a lot of that reasoning is they're freshmen. I mean, TK Tanner and BJ Williams Jr., those are two great freshmen that can really ball out. I mean, B.J. Williams Jr. already has 178 points on the season, which is really impressive as a freshman. And you said that Gary Williams Jr. is out. He's actually out with an injury right now. So guys like Kamir Sears are going to have to be really important to step up tonight and help the GC Rams overcome adversity.
Yeah, you were talking about him. He's got 82 assists, but it is going to be a fun one tonight. These two teams, the Rams and the Colts, have not played each other in 7 years. In 2018 was the last time that these two teams squared off. So we're going to take a quick break. Referees are talking with the programs now as we've got the Gloucester Catholic Rams and the Cumberland Colts in Friday Night Hoops here from Seabrook, New Jersey. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ben Wilden. We'll be back in just a moment with starting lineups and much more.
Visiting team, the Gloucester Catholic Rams. Starting at guard, a junior number 3, Jack Hunt. Starting at guard, a freshman number 1, DJ Williams Jr. Starting at guard, a freshman number 5, TK Tanner. Starting at forward, a freshman number 32, Darius Ata-Mensah. And at guard, freshman number 12, Brayden Labarudi.
Oh.
Assistant coaches for the Rams are Jimmy Cat. Head coach is Brayden Doherty.
I didn't realize he was in the lineup.
And now, Gold Nation, make some noise for your Cumberland Regional Colts starting 5. Starting at guard, a 5'11" senior from Fairfield, number 2, Jay Davis. Starting at forward, the 6'3" sophomore from Richmond, 00, Pat Crawford. At wing, a 6'1" junior from Fairfield, number 10, Major Wilkins. Starting at guard, a 5'11" senior from Fairfield, number 1, DJ Mosley. And at forward, a 6'5" senior from Bridgeton, number 12, Caleb Green.
And there's your starting lineups for tonight's contest. Gloucester Catholic, again, we talked about B.J. Williams Jr. being out with an injury. Injury no more. He's back in the lineup, so it'll be interesting to see his production tonight. But for the Rams, it's Pund, Williams, Tanner, Ata-Mensah, and LaRubio. And then for the Colts, Davis, Martin, Dunn, Crawford, Green, and Mosley. I'm Dan Wilkins of Rowan College of South Jersey, joined by my partner Ben Wilden on the call. From Seabrook, New Jersey, it's the Cumberland Regional High School Gymnasium, our third time seeing the Colts this year. We saw them on opening day, a tip-off classic versus West Deptford. They won that game by 19 points, and it was a sign of what's to come. A team that only won 6 games in the last season is now 11-7, with Gloucester Catholic 8-8 in their third season under head coach Brandon Doherty, the longtime assistant at GC. But it's getting quite loud here for a 5:51 tip-off here in Seabrook, Cumberland County. Crawford and Fofana under it for the tip. Or excuse me, not Fofana, but we are underway as Caleb Green takes an immediate tip from Ata-Mensah. Crawford goes in, and he's got his first points of the night. Pat Crawford. We were going to talk about those one-on-one matchups and how they were going to, Gloucester Catholic was going to try to take advantage of them. As dancing around the half-court line there was Williams, fired inside. Back out to Williams, slides for 3. B.J. Williams Jr. wastes no time and picks up a triple for the Rams.
Yeah, that's
now 3-2.
That's one thing Williams does really good, shooting the 3 ball.
Yeah, well, Gloucester Catholic would have missed him if he was out tonight, but instead he is back in the lineup. Missed a few games, but appeared on Wednesday versus GCIT. Scored 9 points, 7 rebounds. As here comes a deep ball down the floor, unable to get saved by TK Tanner. And it's out of bounds. Gloucester Catholic 4-2 in the Tri-County Royal. They had a 3-game win streak in early January, and that followed up a 3-game losing skid to Kingsway, Triton, and Cherokee. They won 3 in a row versus John Bound of New York, Clearview, and then Pennsgrove. Then lost to the hot team Williamstown and Delsey. And then beat GCIT 57-53 on Wednesday. Crawford up, fouled and one. That's one way to put an exclamation point on that one there. Crawford picks up his 4th point, his 2nd basket, and he'll have time for a 2-point play. But again, when we talk about Pat Crawford, 625 points in his first 2 seasons here at Cumberland. What's amazing about it is that he's also a great free throw shooter. Not a lot of forwards can say that, and even at the high school level, something like a 70% free throw mark is pretty good. He's 61 for 85. That's a 71.7% mark. And for his 3-point play, it is good. Banks off the front iron, and it's a 5-3 Cumberland lead. On the floor for Gloucester Catholic, number 12, Braden LaRubio. He did not start the last time we saw him as Williams chucks up another 3. That one's wide. Adamensa tries to force it in the corner. And it looks like we're going to have a foul here in the far corner. If not, no foul. It will just be straight out of bounds.
GC is starting 3 freshmen today, so it should be pretty interesting today against how they can handle the Colts.
Yeah, a lot of young kids on this roster, and sometimes a young, projectable roster is sometimes the best that you can have, with Williams being one of them and LaRubio being another. And Gary Connolly Jr. on the floor for the Rams as this one goes inside to TK Tanner. Back out, chucks up a 3, no good. Gets another chance, can't get that one to fall. And Cumberland's quarterback for the football team, Josh Davis, brings this one down. Back over to the far corner on the bounce pass from Mosley back to Davis. Now moving inside, kicks off of Crawford. We stay alive. Goes back to Adamensa. 2-point lead for the Colts here in the first 2 minutes of this one. Back inside the semicircle. Williams for his 3rd triple, and the net barely even moved. B.J. Williams now 2 for 3 on 3-point field goal attempts, and the Rams have taken a 6-5 lead.
I mean, it kind of shows how B.J. Williams already has 179 points this year. The kid just gets it done. Creates shots for himself.
And that's a mistake there. A little handoff there from Davis to Mosley. Goes out of bounds.
Thought he was playing quarterback there.
Well, he was. Cumberland, led by the senior Josh Davis on the gridiron, made their first playoff appearance since 2014 this past season. Fell to Winslow in the first round, and I think everybody knows how talented Winslow is. There's no debating that. But with 5:18 left in the first, we've got a good back-and-forth matchup here in Seabrook. As B.J. Williams really has been running this offense, he's taken almost every shot that GC has taken. As it goes back out, Williams pump fakes, creates some space for a long 2. Too strong. Green flies in for the rebound, and he'll reset it to the point guard, Josh Davis. Davis running the point. The 5'10" senior. 269 career points, 121 this season. An average of 6.8 per game. Back out to Green, and a foul. No, travel. Green got called for the extra step. I think that's the right call, and we'll reset with 4:41 left in the first.
And I think a big thing for Cumberland tonight is they're going to have to use Green and Crawford down low to get a lot of their baskets. I mean, but both of them can shoot the ball, too, pretty well. So, you know, it's important for them both to get a lot of shooting opportunities.
We were talking about Elijah Fofana in the pregame. I'm curious how many minutes he's going to get as here comes a pull-up jumper from, that looked like offensive interference to me, but because he grabbed at the net as the ball was going in, but they're going to count it nonetheless, and it now goes to an 8-5 game, 3 points for the Rams. Yeah, I don't know about that. That looked like offensive interference to me, but Green unable to make up for it with a corner 3. The basket counts for TK Tanner, his first points. This one goes up, and a floater for Williams. He's got 8 points, and the Rams are on a roll. They now lead this one 10-5, halfway through the first quarter here in Cumberland County at Cumberland Regional High School. Green feeds it out. Quick pass. Martin Dunst creates some space, and we got a wedge. So, possession arrow will go to the Rams. Green will sub out, and now into the game for the Colts will be number 5, Michael Hollis. But yeah, it's interesting. The last time we were here at Cumberland was January the 8th. We saw Williamstown in their last game before any of their transfers, including Clinton Suggs from Paul Sixth, were eligible. They won that game 71-60, as there's a three. And knocked down in the corner as Jack Pund gets that one to fall. And Rams are really rolling here. They've got an 8-0 run, or actually a 10-0 run, excuse me, as Pund goes up, tries to make it 12. Crawford rips down the rebound. But the Rams kind of button their head in this offense here as here comes Davis. Corner three, no good, front iron. Rebounded quickly. The smaller guard pulls up. Couldn't get that one there from Demage Cartwright. And now Williams will try to reset this one for Gloucester Catholic. Williams back over towards the volleyball line. Gets a bit of a shoulder check there from Williams. And a fiery pass from LaRubio. Gets it over. Pund. Corner. Three. No good.
And I think the Rams should keep shooting. I mean, they're a great team that can shoot the ball really well. I think they just got to keep getting open looks and, just keep shooting the ball.
Yeah, it's the old philosophy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's exactly what they've got. If you're on a 10-0 run like the Rams are right now, no reason to change the offense for Brandon Doherty at all, as that one is too strong there by Hollis. It goes out of bounds. What's interesting, though, is that the Rams have only made 76 three-point shots in their season. So at this point in their 17th game, they're averaging 4.75 three-pointers per game. Meanwhile, Cumberland has hit 72, and they have played a few more games. This is their 19th of the year. So neither team shoots a lot or makes a lot, excuse me, because NJ.com doesn't track how many misses you have. They track how many makes you have, and Cumberland only has 3.8 three-point baskets per game. So a lot of these teams are going to be focused on inside shooting, and Pat Crawford and Caleb Green have been the focus of that for Lamont Robinson and this Cumberland team. As it gets taken out there, goes back to Williams, fires it inside, pulls up from the semicircle, make that 12-0. And now Lamont Robinson, actually no, Brandon Doherty will call a timeout for the Rams. We'll take a quick break. 90 seconds left in the first, but Gloucester Catholic finding a red-hot groove here in the first. They're on a 12-0 run. We'll be right back. Timeout called by Gloucester Catholic. The public address announcer and head boys soccer coach, Gene Thomas, bringing the laughs tonight. Well, last time we were here versus Williamstown, he was a real hoot to have as the PA guy here for Cumberland. But, hey, he's a good PA announcer, and even for the big schools, sometimes they don't have a specialist. Sometimes you just have the best man you can have, and Gene Thomas, one of the best guys you can have for that right here in Cumberland County. Just 10 minutes north of Bridgeton, one of the most populous cities in South Jersey, as here comes a three, chucked up, too strong. See, like you were talking about, Ben, I mean, you said that Gloucester Catholic shouldn't change their shooting approach. I agree, but Cumberland has to. I mean, they're chucking up a lot of threes right now, and both teams are chucking up a lot. But yeah, Williams making a lot of room here as it goes back to Pund and now to Tanner. But Cumberland's got to use Crawford and Green here.
Yeah, especially with their size. Without Fufana, it's very important for them to use their size here.
Moves back out to the volleyball line, moving inside for Tanner. Back out to Pund. Corner three. Airballed it. Crawford tries to save it. Gets it to Green, and it is saved successfully. 40 seconds left in the first. Cumberland student section letting them hear it. Again, they're as much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, Cumberland's hasn't scored in a handful of minutes. Here comes Cumberland. Caleb Green for three. That's the announcer's jinx right there. Cumberland hasn't scored in a few minutes. Gloucester Catholic's on a 12-0 run. How about a triple from Caleb Green? Hits it from the corner, and it's now 15-8. Back over to the top, LaRubio. Now back to Pund. Underhand flip to Williams. They've got 7 seconds. Spinning around in the semicircle. Pund can't find any space. Hops on it. 1 second. Can't get it to fall, and that's the end of the first quarter. So a quick first here in Seabrook as Gloucester Catholic takes the money and run. They get a 12-2 run in the final 5 minutes to end the first, and they lead by 7 here in the first. It's the Rams 15 and the Colts 8. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Cumberland Regional High School. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ben Wilden on the call. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. Book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, 614 Lambs Road. 15-8, Gloucester Catholic leads after the first quarter here from Cumberland Regional High School. B.J. Williams Jr. with 8 points in the first. He has done a phenomenal job so far. TK Tanner with 4, Jack Pund with 3. Pat Crawford leads Cumberland scoring with 4. Caleb Green with 3 as well. Or excuse me, Crawford has 5, Green has 3. That would explain the 8 points. Josh Davis had an open look, didn't take it. Gloucester Catholic kind of gave him that space, gave him a little bit of freedom there as it goes back out to Crawford in the near corner, guarded by Williams. But again, Crawford's that combo guy. He could really play any position on the floor and be successful. He's not even the tallest guy. I think Green has an inch on him as here comes a 3. Davis, no good. Crawford, rebound. Pump fake, and good. Pat Crawford puts it back.
I was going to say for them to stop shooting threes, but when you got Pat Crawford down there getting boards left and right, maybe it's not the worst idea.
Yeah, maybe it's not, but got a foul there right in front of the scorer's table. Crawford averaging 7.1 rebounds per game. He has 106. And in fact, 3 players on this Cumberland team already have over 100 rebounds this season. Crawford has 106. Caleb Green has 100 on the dot. But Major Martin Dunn, I was very surprised. Major Martin Dunn leads the team in rebounds. He has 117 in his first 18 games of the year. Shot doesn't go. Inside, LaRubio can't get anything to fall. Or check that. That is from number 23 that time, pardon. Daddy Zellner. Green, no good. A little bit of contact up there inside. 15-10, a minute 15 into the second quarter. Brandon Doherty, the longtime Gloucester Catholic assistant, promoted to head coach in 2023, has a spin and a travel on B.J. Williams. They'll sub Pund back into the game, and LaRubio will go to the bench. A lively Cumberland student section. Didn't really have this when we saw Cumberland versus Williamstown. Might be because it's a Friday night versus a Monday, but it doesn't really feel like a Friday night anyway, but maybe that's because of the foot of snow on the ground. Everybody's been miserable for the past week. Here's Davis. Back to Green. Green. Pull up. Good. Caleb Green and Pat Crawford have combined for all 12 points. Crawford with 7, Green with 5. It's been a 1-2 punch here for the Colts, and they now trail by 3 with 2 minutes gone in the second quarter. Williams on the right wing.
It does make sense when they have over 562 points combined for Cumberland, which is over 50% of their team's points this season.
Yeah, that's one of those things. When you have 1 or 2 high-volume scorers that lead the offense and everybody else is kind of accessories to that, you really get a nice combination if both of them are having a good night. But if one of them isn't, or if one of them is hurt or sick or whatever, it really hampers the team's performance. And we've seen that, you know, with Crawford and Green in the games that Cumberland has lost this year. But that's the thing, is that Crawford scored 300 points as a freshman in a season where Cumberland only won 6 games. They went 6-21, and they were at the bottom of the Liberty division as that one goes out of bounds. Let's take a look at the Tri-County Liberty standings, as right now, I mean, Deptford Deptford's running away. They're right now number 1 in Group 3. They have surprised me. They went 15-12 last season. They've already won 15 games, and we're not even in February. Then you got Cumberland at 11-7. Delsea and Timber Creek tied for 3rd. Triton and Highland round out the bottom. But I mean, we've seen almost all of those teams this year, and Cumberland is one of the most impressive that we've seen. I would say Deptford and Cumberland, it's a good matchup. How about that? That gets knocked down from the near corner as Major Martin Dunn knocks down the 3. Got a little bank action there.
Yeah, Dan, like
and
you
game's
said,
tied.
Yeah, Dan, like you said, all these teams have in the
Look at this pressure. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but how about that pressure there? Moving inside, LaRubio pressured by Khalif Dawkins. A fantastic defensive stand there. Cumberland wants a travel. They didn't get it. Williams is there with Davis. Williams up high off the bank and out of bounds. Cumberland ball. Just amazing to see what Cumberland has been able to do as a program. We mentioned last year they went 6-21. They not only missed the playoffs last year, but they were 21st out of 21 in South Jersey Group 3. They were dead last in the power points, and now they have, if everything holds, a first-round playoff game waiting for them in mid-February. As Green, some crafty footwork, Mosley double-guarded, feeds it out. Dawkins back to Green. Green pile drives, offense, no. Not an offensive foul, but it's still a travel, and it's still Gloucester Catholic ball. So we'll get an inbound here from Jordan Mendez. He'll take it to Williams. 4:05 left in the second, tied up at 15 apiece. Williams, Davis. Again, some great pressure here. I mean, Cumberland is just dancing on that line. They are trying to prevent a foul at any way possible, and that's going to be a foul there. We were talking about preventing fouls, and then Cumberland picks one up right there.
I think that's a good reason why this game is still so low scoring. Both teams are playing great defense and not letting a lot of scores go in.
We have seen some really great defense here from Cumberland. Only 2 fouls on the Colts, none on the Rams yet. Pund feeds it out. Back to Williams. Williams on the volleyball corner, guarded by Davis. Adamensa sets the screen, travel on Mendez. Checking into the game will be TK Tanner. But lively atmosphere here on this Friday night, as we're all tied up 15-15. And again, Lamont Robinson Jr., he has experience in basketball, but also has experience on the gridiron. He was a one-year head coach for Absegami's football program in 2024. They went 5-5 during his one season in Galloway. And again, having a multi-sport head coach is somewhat rare, but it's interesting to see because it gets so much versatility out of these guys as Tanner gets a nice layup in transition. And the Rams take the lead again, back to 17-15. But the fact that Cumberland was able to entirely erase the Rams' 12-0 run from the first quarter and make this a 2-point game again, really impressive offense and defense from Cumberland. As airballed, second chance, Williams brings it down, but Davis gets the rebound. Pulled up from the semicircle, no good. Another save. Moving along the baseline, pulls up, fouled underneath the basket by Adamensa.
I think a big part of this defense is Josh Davis himself. You know, you see his defense. You see how low he's getting his defensive shuffle. It's just really good, great defense, and I think that's really part of Cumberland's success.
DJ Mosley will be at the line. And no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I'll talk about Mosley as well, as the first foul shot is no good. But for Mosley, a player who is just so agile and quick, was able to get down that floor in a heartbeat and able to pick up that offensive rebound to draw the foul as he moved from the baseline in to make this a 1-point game. Missed his first and makes his second. Mosley also a soccer player, and Lamont Robinson will call a 30-second timeout. We will stay here, 17-16 Rams lead. But Mosley, also a soccer player for Gene Thomas and the Colts, scored 4 goals in his senior season this past year and has 8 career goals. But Really, really good first half so far. I'm loving this defense. I am loving the war that is going on in the paint. I like the fact, honestly, I like the fact that the referees are being lenient. There's a handful of plays where there could be a foul, there could not be a foul. It could go either way, but the referees are letting this play out. They're letting the boys play, and I really like that from this officiating crew tonight. So we're seeing a decent amount of defense. Cumberland, despite their disadvantage with the size, you know, both of these teams shot a lot of three-pointers in the first, and they looked a little disjointed, and now they're finding their groove. They're finding what works for them, and it's really seemed to work out so far. But 3 minutes left in the first half. You're from Cumberland Regional High School, and you see that one-man press, just one-on-one. You know, you versus me. Let's see what we can get out of it. As it gets tipped up, Martin Dunn runs in for it. Williams saves it. Oh, he missed it. If he caught the ball, it would have been a travel, and now jump ball. As coming in at the last second was Demesh Cartwright. It will be GC ball on the possession arrow. 2:31 rather, left in the second. 17-16 Rams.
Yeah, and I really like this man defense. They use it at the JV level too. I think it's really strong defense that can really work and win games.
Almost stepped over him that time. Look at that. Martin Dunn got a little bit tangled up there. Continuing to go back and forth now as Cartwright moves in, feeds it inside. Crawford uses his body and is able to jam everyone out of the way as Pat Crawford, 9 points. 18-17. Colts lead. Pump fake. Pund was able to keep that foot on the ground, so no travel. It goes up and a nice lay. A really, really good basket that time by TK Tanner. He's got 8 points for the guard, and we are all tied up in a defensive battle here from Cumberland Regional, 19-18. Green was getting ready to sub in, but he has now gone back to the bench behind Lamont Robinson. He might also just be taking an extended break, might be coming in still before the end of the half. As Cartwright moves inside. Crawford up and in. There's not a lot of teams that can stop Pat Crawford, and we're seeing that on its fullest display tonight. Pat Crawford, 11 points and a foul, as right in front of the opposing paint. Little too much contact there. It's going to be on Michael Hollis against Khalif Armstrong.
Yeah, and if Pat Crawford keeps using his body, I really don't see anybody stopping him.
He just goes in, gets a bounce pass from outside, pump fake, basket. And he's 6'4" as a sophomore. He could very much grow. He could very well take a huge leap. And I already think if he stays here in Seabrook, you know, all these kids are local. He could very well be the first 1,000-point scorer since Ethan Turner a few years ago. As that's going to be on Gloucester Catholic. Doherty disagrees with it, but he'll go back the other way. There's only been 6 1,000-point scorers in the history of the Colts. And the leading scorer of them all was David Haddon back in the early 80s. Scored 1,400 points, but Ethan Turner was the last one and the only one that I really remember covering. I mean, there was, you know, Philip Buck and stuff like that, but that was before my time. As we've got 45 seconds and a nice lay again. TK Tanner has 10 points. 10 points in the first half, 6 in the second quarter, as we're down to 38 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that GC is using really well is their speed and getting down the court, which is really helping them get a lot of transition takes.
Martin Dunn trying to create some space. A lot of pump fakes for this Cumberland offense as it goes out to Martin Dunn. That's a travel. You can only pump fake so many times before you inadvertently lift your foot and cause a travel. As the ball not only did the ball get turned over, but the ball got turned over in a critical possession. Rams will now take over with 24 seconds left and will probably hold out until the end of the half. Usually in this situation, a lot of teams will want to hold on and take the last shot, and I know that Brandon Doherty is one of those coaches. Good screen that time by Zellner. Bounce pass. They're going to move in aggressively. They're going to get fouled, though. Oh, clock ran there. That's a little bit weird. Clock ran in excess for a few minutes there, or for a few seconds. Not that it matters a whole bunch, but there probably should be between 12 and 13 on the board.
Yeah,
They're going to send TK Tanner to the line again.
yeah, Dan. I saw the Glassboro game the other day. They had a whole possession at the end of the game where they were just swinging the ball for 1 minute straight, which you can do in the NJSIAA because you don't really have a shot clock.
No shot clock here in Jersey, obviously, and Pennsylvania's adding theirs in 2028. If New Jersey adds one, which will be up to a full membership vote by all high schools in May, it may come in as soon as 2027, as one of two goes for Tanner. They've got 5 seconds. It goes back to Green at half court. He'll lob it up. No good. And that's the end of the half. Green got a shot off from half court. He got a heave, but it was just a little bit too strong as the Rams lead the Cumberland Colts in a defensive gauntlet here from Cumberland County and Seabrook, New Jersey, as the halftime score, Gloucester Catholic 22, Cumberland 20. We'll be back in 10 minutes from the home of the orange and white. We'll be right back.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research. In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
Coach Epplite, you know, he's, again, One time leaving the bases loaded is frustrating enough. Doing it twice in a row. Oh, how about this? Line drive. They're going to – no, he's throwing it around the infield. They're going to throw him out at first. He's out. I have never seen that before. That is a 5-4-3 ground out because the third baseman thought he caught it. The home plate umpire said no, so he threw it around the infield and then got the out at first anyway because the batter thought he was out.
The batter stopped. The third baseman thought
Everybody
he caught
stopped.
it, and it touched.
And Argabright with a full count. Outfielders in communication for the Quakers. Everyone's looking around in a tie game, bottom of the sixth. The 3-2 payoff. Ground ball. It's going to get over the head of Tolbert into left field. That's a base hit. 2-run score. Argabright delivers when asked. 5-3. Alex Argabright has given the Golden Eagles a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the sixth inning.
1-0 Red Bank. Now here is Al D'Elia. The man they used to call Big Al has now slimmed down, and he still hits dingers. He went viral in 2018 for his catchphrase during the Little League World Series when he was introduced by the ESPN camera crews and was given his standard introduction. He said, "Hi, my name's Big Al, and I hit dingers." And that sentiment still holds true today. He had his first career high school home run versus Rumson Fairhaven in their opening game of the campaign last week. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. But D'Elia, kind of a folk hero for baseball players who just want to hit the ball far and have fun while doing it. The poster child now is the poster big fella. Fly ball right center field. This is going to be a sac fly. Taken in by Terranova, and Big Al might not hit dingers, but he certainly drives in runs. It's 2-0.
Welcome back to Cumberland Regional High School here at the halftime break. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ben Wilden. It's a 2-point game, rather, 22-20 at halftime. TK Tanner unexpectedly led the way for the Rams. BJ Williams Jr. had 8 points in the first quarter, but came up empty in the second. TK Tanner found his way into the basket. Meanwhile, for Pat Crawford, 11 points, and Caleb Green with 5, Major Martin Dunn with 3. It's been a good game for both teams. Heavy emphasis on the defense. Not a lot of fouls. Referees are letting it play. We've seen a good game so far.
Yeah, I think we've seen a great game so far. I think I like these games personally. They're better to watch when they're more defensively, almost like a 90s basketball game, when it's not just the Group 1 level where, teams like Clayton are scoring 100 points. It's more like, traditional basketball, which I really like.
Yeah, no, trust me, I yearn for traditional basketball because I listen, I'm a couple years older than you. Javier's a couple years older than both of us. I grew up in the very end of the traditional basketball era. The first year that I watched the game was probably either Steph Curry's rookie year or his second year. I have never been a big fan of 3 points all day, every day, because I think there's more creative ways to score. The way that we've seen it tonight, though, is that Cumberland has been incessant on defending Gloucester Catholic every single second. Every single second that they have the ball. If there's a missed shot and GC gets a rebound, the first thing they'll do is they'll send a man right to him, and they will guard the heck out of him. And I love that. I love that defense from Cumberland. I think that it is a great strategy to have. Again, these two teams are conference opponents, but not everybody plays each other in the conference every year. These teams haven't met since 2018, and they're only separated by one division. So it'll be interesting to see how Caleb Green, Pat Crawford, and company still attack this Rams young lineup. And Ben, as you mentioned, 3 freshmen in the starting 5 for Gloucester Catholic as we get underway. Caleb Green immediately chucks up a 3! Colts lead, 23-22. What a better way to start, as Caleb Green knocks down a 3 from the top of the key. It's a 1-point game. As that ball gets tipped by Jay Davis, it's out of bounds.
Yeah,
again, last touch by Davis.
Yeah, don't let Caleb Green's size fool you. He's 6'5", but he can dang sure shoot the ball.
Absolutely. The 6'5" senior, 865 career points, could also be on a 1,000-point watch as that ball gets thrown to nowhere. 230 points this year in 18 games. He's already made 93 three-point shots, so that shot was number 94. And again, 100 threes is as rare of an accomplishment as 1,000-point scorers. That goes out of bounds. Crawford couldn't get there. Green has put up 10-plus in his last 4 games, put up 21 in a win over GCIT back on the 22nd. Has not put up any double-doubles, though. His closest was that game versus GCIT, arguably his best this year, 21-9 for the senior, as this one gets stolen. Here comes Mosley to Davis. Can't save it on the baseline. That's a turnover.
Rubio, as a freshman, he's going to make a couple of mistakes, but for him to keep getting time as a freshman is really going to develop this team truly, especially as GC has 3 freshmen in the lineup, which is very important for the growth of this organization, for this program.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this organization for Gloucester Catholic has really found a way to be adaptable. They had so many seniors last year. The clock's not running. The clock didn't run for that entire possession. We should be 20 seconds down. Now the clock is running, and the referees haven't noticed any of it. It should be on our count is 6:54. They have it at 7:02. But the refs didn't go to the table to change it or anything. That's 20 seconds right there, but they're going to let it go. And now we have some foul shots.
Throwing a couple extra stats for each player.
Yeah, I guess so. We had a game one time at Pensgrove where a whole 30 seconds went by without the clock running and the referees didn't notice. So it's not perfect. I mean, those guys that run the clock, it's not like football where they're assigned by the state. They're assigned by the school. They're just trained by the state to do what is asked of them. But the game is tied, 23-23. Tanner made his first foul shot. He's got 12 points on the evening. Mosley out to Davis. Davis, nice fire inside. Crawford back to Mosley and in. Bit of a constellation play, but DJ Mosley gets the shot, and the Colts take the lead back 25-23. Little hip check there, goes back out to the top. Like I said, these refs are really letting them play tonight. Really nice to see this defensive action as Williams knocks it down. 11 points, third triple for the guard.
I feel like all of his three-pointers today have been all swishes. You know, he's got a great shooting for him, and I think that's really part of why he's such a good three-point shooter.
A lot of low arcing shots as well as Mosley loses it, goes through the 5-hole of Crawford. Now it goes back to Martin Dunn. Green inside and a nice lay. Both of these teams have just such great high-volume scores. Williams for the Rams, and another steal, but a foul on the other end. DJ Mosley fouled LaRubio. It's the first foul against the Colts. It's actually the second team foul against the Colts. I think it's safe to say that Elijah Fofana is not going to play tonight because he's only in a warm-up jersey and doesn't have his actual varsity jersey on. So an assumption that the 6'9" center that we talked about at length in the pregame will not play. As back out to the top, it's over on top of the center logo. He did play on Wednesday versus GCIT, put up 8 points, 11 rebounds. 5:15 left in the third. Williams, bounce pass, gets swatted, but it comes back to the Rams. Adamensa, back to Williams, back to Pund. He'll get a jump start, and it's good. Jack Pund gives the Rams the lead back, 28-27, for what is the game's 8th lead change.
I think that's what makes GC such a good team. They get so many scoring opportunities, and really every player gets to touch the ball.
Here comes Martin Dunn for three. Major Martin Dunn with a major three. Colts take the lead back. It's his second triple, 6 points, 29-28. They will count it as a 2. They say his foot was on the line. Here comes a steal, foul, as the ball was loose. Robinson disagrees. The foul is on Gloucester Catholic. Well, maybe he doesn't have a reason to disagree because the foul is not against him. It is against who was that against? That's against Williams. Teams first. Pund. They had the wrong number up on the board. It's Punds first, teams first. Mosley will take this one. The quick-moving Jay Davis can't get the shot to fall. Here comes a deep pass down the floor, intercepted by Mosley, and he'll bring this one back up after a quick tip pass.
Yeah, not the greatest of passes there, you know. I feel like it's a better opportunity if you just set up the offense.
And man, Pat Crawford so good in the paint, 13 points. As Williams over to Pund. Far corner, Williams, high pass, almost got stolen away, but Pund had some space. Pulls up, semicircle, fouled on the floor. So this will not be a shooting foul from what we're aware, although they're going to line him up. I thought the one ref called it on the floor. That's my bad. Pund will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, that seems like it's Pund's spot right there at the free-throw line. It seems like he's getting open and creating a lot of shots and creating a lot of fouls.
Let's listen to this crowd for the first shot. Made his first. Pund 39 for 81 in his career from the line, under 50%, but 23 for 42 in his senior year. That's a 54.7% mark. Let's listen in one more time. Oof. Yeah, a little bit of acknowledgement on that one as that one just hung in time. And it's now a 1-point game again as Pund, after getting fouled, hits both shots. Colts are sitting on 3 fouls. Here comes a breakaway. Oh, travel. We had a slam, and instead we get a travel. Got extra whistles here. Not sure what the whole deal was. One of the referees, I think, wasn't happy with something on the baseline. No. They're gonna roll whistles again.
Some confusions here.
Oh, they're cleaning up a spot on the floor, which was right outside of our sight lines. You can see somebody down there with a towel. Yeah, the referee blew the whistle, and then the other referees didn't get the memo that we were going to get back going, but we're still waiting, and now the trainer. Oh. Somebody didn't put the lid back on their water bottle. You got one job, especially if it's a Gatorade or something with a lot of sugar in it. Or, listen, I don't drink soda, but the worst thing I've had in any of my apartments is to have soda spilled on carpet. I can't imagine it's much better on hardwood because it just sticks in there, but the spill gets cleaned up. And we're back rolling. Back to the top. Cartwright to Crawford. Up and no good. Crawford rebound and in. 15 for Pat Crawford.
Yeah, if he does this all game, GC is going to have a really hard time stopping this.
Another travel on TK Tanner. So, as it stands, I mean, I'm just surprised of anything. I mean, they got to keep their feet there. Khalif Armstrong had a slam dunk, but traveled on his way to the basket. And good thing the refs called it there, because that was the right call. And then getting ready for another shot in transition, Tanner travels. Crawford can't get it there. And again, that low post scoring, a little bit hit or miss here in the third quarter, but right now Crawford getting a lot of them to go as it's a 3-point game, 33-30. Williams spinning around, back to the right side. Tanner back to the top for Armstrong. And double dribble. Or carry. Getting all these wrong today, but checking into the ball game will be Braden LaRubio, the freshman. And they will be correct. There's a lot of things he can't do. That's one of them. 33-30. 2:29 and counting left in the third quarter. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ben Wilden. If you'd like to make a contribution to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, a lot of our broadcasts are unpaid by the schools and for the exposure of the programs and of our careers in sports broadcasting. You can send us a contribution if you'd like at DW Broadcasting on Venmo. That's DW Broadcasting with no spaces or any hyphens. DW Broadcasting. Anything, of course, not required, but incredibly appreciated. A lot of us are college and high school students looking to advance our careers in sports broadcasting, and any contribution that you make helps us achieve those goals and keeps us on the air for more games every week, every month, every year. Going up, Armstrong gets it to fall. He is the first bench scorer for Gloucester Catholic here in this ball game as he picks up a 2-point basket.
Yeah,
makes it 33-32.
I think Armstrong's going to have a lot more takes this at the end of this quarter without Crawford in.
Well, he had one, but it got called back for a travel. So Doherty definitely trying to use him more as this game goes on. Fires it across the floor from Dawkins to Cartwright. Back over to Mosley. Mosley up and in. DJ Mosley with another basket to fall from inside. It's back to a 3-point game with 1:20 left in the third. Armstrong, again, looking to get a lot more high-volume action with Pat Crawford taking what I believe is his first bench break of the game. When we first saw Cumberland all the way back on December the 13th versus West Effort, neither Crawford or Green scored. Neither Crawford or Green started the game. It was a hodgepodge of different players that we haven't really seen since, as going up and getting that one to fall is Mosley. Able to get that shot right up the steal in transition. Makes this a 2-possession game for the first time in a while. As now under 45 seconds, there's a foul. Cartwright excited.
Yeah, and like Dan, you said, Cumberland's like coming back this year as a program. I think they're really trying to find really who they are, and I think it's working for them this year.
Yeah, and again, the team is built around Pat Crawford. And that's what makes this team so special, is that they know that they have a lot of younger guys. Obviously, Mosley's a senior, Davis is a senior, so is Green, but you still have Khalif Dawkins and Major Martin Dunn, who are juniors. They still have another year here under Robinson, as going up and in, Danny Zellner gets the basket to fall. Back to a three-point game. Over to the right side, Martin Dunn. Back to the top, 20 seconds. Three-point game, 37-34. Really fun one here in Cumberland. Comes out on his knees. Zellner slides and gets it. That's got to hurt. 10 seconds. Back to Williams. Goes inside the paint. He loses it. Gets it back. Lost possession off the side of the iron and in. TK Tanner. He'll let it fly from full court, but it's well short. And at the end of the third quarter, it's just the beginning. The next 8 minutes will be the most important ones here from Seabrook as Cumberland establishes a 1-point lead. 37-36 after three-quarter time here in Cumberland County. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This broadcast is brought to you by the South Jersey chapter of the National Adult Baseball Association, the premier men's baseball league of New Jersey with over 20 teams across 4 competitive divisions. Visit SouthJerseyNABA.com for more information as registration is open for the spring of 2026. 37-36, Cumberland leads Gloucester Catholic. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ben Wilden. TK Tanner leads Gloucester Catholic scoring with 14. As it has been interesting to watch today. It was 22-20 GC at halftime, but Gloucester Catholic led by 7 at the end of the first quarter. Cumberland cut it down to 2 as now going up. Mosley continues his individual run. He's got 8. And 6 points in the last 3 minutes. Turned over again. DJ Mosley continuing to get the ball glued to his hands. Crawford brings it down. He is fouled. And Pat Crawford will go to the line to try to make this a 2-possession game. And those fouls are going to be worth their weight in gold here in the fourth quarter. With Gloucester Catholic, they cannot afford to foul Cumberland much since they're probably going to be down maybe a possession or two once we get deeper into this quarter, as Crawford's first shot is good.
Yeah, and Dan, like you said, Crawford's a great throw shooter, so it's really crucial for GC to not put him at the line.
Crawford has 16 points. He has scored 10-plus in his last 4 games straight. Put up a double-double, 17 and 15 in a 57-46 loss to Vineland on Wednesday. They've played a lot of the Cumberland County schools. They've played Millville. They've played, Millville, Bridgeton, Vineland. They've played pretty much all of them. We were originally supposed to be here last Friday versus Bridgeton, but because of the sellout crowd, they weren't able to make space for it. But thanks to Colin Lewis for, giving us the heads up and being honest with us. He's a great athletic director here. As punt pulls up, top of the key, front iron. Ball comes out, last touched by GC. Adamensa last touched it, and Green will take this one. But Crawford in 15 games this year has put up 5 double-doubles. He put up 4 in the month of December, including a streak of 4 straight games. Those rebound numbers tapered off a little bit, but then after putting up only 4 rebounds versus Bridgeton, put up 15. As that one goes up for Davis.
Yeah, Cumberland's really feeding Crawford down here, down low, which is really what they should be doing.
Absolutely. They have been fantastic with him. He's up to 19 points now, 42-36. Williams, 11 points, 8 of them in the first half. Pulling up. No good. Too strong. Just barely. Davis will bring this one up on the left side. He's got Mosley open. If I'm Cumberland, I wouldn't shoot a 3 for the rest of the game unless you need to. Here comes a 3, and it's good.
Announcer shinks.
Brandon Doherty calls a timeout. This is why I shouldn't be a basketball coach. Caleb Green knocks it down from the top of the key. He's got 13, and it's a 9-point game. We'll take a quick break as the Colts lead the Rams 45-36. Welcome back. This broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. Visit dawgprowrestling.com for more information on future bookings. Had to get in on the fun. Baseball season's almost right around the corner, so that leads us into our perfect segue. Tune in on Saturday, February 21st for college baseball in the Division III realm between DeSales and Rutgers-Camden. First pitch at 12 noon. And then the schedule for the rest of this weekend, as this ball almost came out, he's got 1 foot over the backcourt and a foul on Major Martin Dunn. I don't know if I agree with that one.
Number 10, Ron Dillon's his first, his second, team first.
So team first, personal second. But tomorrow we've got JUCO basketball between the Atlantic Cape Buccaneers and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners. Women tip off at 12. Men tip off at 2 p.m., and then we have 5 games as a part of the Holy Cross Prep Showcase on Sunday. The premier, I keep saying the premier, but it's true. They've got over 40 teams across 4 days. How about this? Got a violation here on Gloucester Catholic, and they'll get that one back. But our first game of the day will be St. Joe's Hamilton versus Heightstown at 10 a.m., Egg Harbor Township versus Morristown at 11:30. Lawrence and West Hampton Tech at 2:30, and then 4 p.m. and 5:30 are the highlight games. Holy Spirit versus Cherry Hill East, and then Lenape versus Holy Cross. 2 of the best teams in South Jersey going at it. Waved off, travel. Referee behind him saw that one.
Yeah, Dan, Cherry Hill East still undefeated. One of the best teams in South Jersey right now, and they're really on the map.
Yeah, they're 15-0. We'll see them in the fourth game of 5 on Sunday. And then on Monday, we get right back to it in Camden County for a BCSL game between Northern Burlington and Kip Cooper Academy. Gets tipped away. How about Mosley with another steal? Gets turned over again. Open look. Tanner almost swiped away. Caleb Green almost swiped his head off, but TK Tanner gets it to fall. He's got 16 points, and it's back to a 7-point game, 45-38. And a foul going back the other way, right in front of the bench. It's called against Crawford.
I had a feeling something was coming there. Crawford was being really handsy. That's one thing you don't want to do late in the game, though, get in foul trouble.
Yeah, they're ramping up the whistles a little bit here in the fourth quarter, kind of playing a little bit more by the letter of the law, while for the first 3, they were really playing it loose, and they were playing a very lenient whistle, which, again, I commend the refs for doing that. They did a great job of letting these defenses play, as that one is good. I'll contrast to Clayton last night. Woodstown beat Clayton 86-63. And in that game, we saw so many fouls for the littlest of things. But what does Clayton do? They do the run and gun. They chuck up threes as fast as possible. Woodstown ran a high-powered offense. They're going to let this one go as Martin Dunn. But, again, the whistles were a lot stricter in that game because of the circumstances. This game has maybe half the total points that last night did over in Clayton at the Pop Kramer Gymnasium. It's a lot different. The circumstances are different. The crews are different. We've got a full 3-man crew instead of a 2-man crew. The circumstances have changed. 45-40, 4:28 left in the fourth. Colts lead by 5. The Colts' biggest lead was 9. The Rams' largest lead was 10. That was all the way back in the first quarter when they had a 12-2 run to end the first quarter. They led by 8 at the end of the first, up by 2 at the end of the half, and then down by 2 at the end of the third quarter. Can't get the shot to go as Tanner, who's had a lot of high-leverage shots for the Rams here in this second half with 18 points.
Yeah, Tanner's been a really big part of why GC is winning this game, or only in a 5-point deficit right now.
Lamont Robinson calls a timeout, went all the way out on the floor. Although, did he get the timeout off in time? He did. So Lamont Robinson calls another timeout, the second-year head coach for the Colts. He has been leading a great program. We'll take another break. 3:51 left in quarter number 4 here from Seabrook.
60-second timeout.
Welcome back to Cumberland Regional High School. Let's take a look at the Tri-County Royal standings as we go into the last weekend of January and the first week of February. Right now, Gloucester Catholic third by overall record. Kingsway 12-6. They've been surprising this year for how much they lost last year. Their core has caught up. And then Williamstown, what a comeback story for them. They were 2-7 at one point and have now won 7 of their last 8 games. They've been on an insane winning streak. Then Gloucester Catholic at 9-8. GCIT, Clearview's been on a little bit of a downswing. We see them on February the 6th, and then Washington Township at the bottom at 6-11. But listen, if your worst team in the division is 6-11, that's not bad. And Washington Township has picked up some really good talent this year. Jackson Chudzinski is a strong sophomore. He's going to be fun to watch. So this Tri-County Royal Division, as it is in almost every sport, as it is in soccer, as it is in baseball, as it is in basketball, and both the girls and the boys, it continues to be competitive year in and year out with some of South Jersey's biggest schools, with the exception of Gloucester Catholic.
Yeah, and that's a division that's always going to be competitive. If you go back to, like, the Classic division,
which is where GC was for the longest time.
Where Pittman and Pennsville have always been kind of the top, but you won't see that here in the Royal Division.
Well, Pittman's always been at the top of the Tri-County Royal. They're having a down year at 6-10, or actually now 7-10. As trying to move in is Williams. Back to the top, Pund. Again, back turn to the basket here. Doherty calls a play, goes back to Williams inside the paint, on the corner of the paint, feeds it out on a bounce pass to Pund. Tries to stop it. They're going to say he stepped out. Referee saw that right away. Martin Dunn will check into the ball game, Cartwright will check in for Martin Dunn. For Cumberland, with a win, they would improve to 12-7, but still very early to declare a winner in this game. They play 15-2 Deptford at home on Monday the 2nd, and then they've got 4 games after that: 2 on the road, 2 at home. Tuesday the 3rd versus Highland, Thursday the 5th versus Timber Creek, another divisional opponent, and then Washington Township versus on Saturday the 7th. Monday the 9th versus Delsey. So 4 of their last 5 final games are against Liberty Division opponents, and the other is against Washington Township of the Royal. So they are all done their non-conference slate as of now. And there is no Cumberland County tournament. The only tournament they would get seated in is the Tri-County tournament in one of the 3 flights, as there goes a nice layup. All net by Jack Pund. He's got 9. And with 2:40 left in the fourth, it's a 3-point game, 45-42. Moving inside now. Crawford able to regain his balance. 21 points for the strong sophomore, Pat Crawford.
Yeah, he's been doing it all night, and the Rams have not really been able to stop him.
He leads the scoring for both teams, a 5-second violation. Again, that is really the only safeguard there is in New Jersey against a shot clock, is you have to be, at least driving towards the basket within 5 seconds. You have to at least making an effort. If your back is turned, you have 5 seconds. As Davis tries a pass with both hands, it gets away. Here comes Tanner, up and in. He's able to slam it down. Not slam it down, slam his feet down and then put the ball up. But a big shot there as TK Tanner puts up another one. He's got 20 for the Rams, and Brandon Doherty calls a timeout. Let's go for our schedule for next week while we stay here. Next week on Monday the 2nd, we go back to BCSL action between Northern Burlington and Kip Cooper. That's a 6:30 p.m. tip-off. And then on Tuesday, we'll be back in Atlantic County for our first taste of Cape Atlantic League basketball this year as we go visit the Hamilton Blue Devils as they face off against the Holy Spirit Spartans. On Thursday, the 5th, we've got a strong rivalry in NJSIAA Region 19. It's the Camden County College Cougars versus the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners. And then we see the Vineland Fighting Clan versus the Clearview Pioneers on Thursday, February 6th. We go back up to Warren Hills on Saturday, February 7th. They play in the third round, the quarterfinal round of the Hunterdon Warren Sussex tournament. They have byes in the first 2 rounds as the number 1 seed. They will play either North Hunterdon or Phillipsburg. And then what do you know? We've only got 2 weeks left in the regular season, and then we have county tournaments, conference tournaments, and then playoffs. First round of playoffs for groups 2 and 4 will be on the 24th. Groups 1 and 3 will be on the 25th of February. So it's going to be a fun ride until the end of the regular season.
And yeah, for basketball fans, it's great because after the high school season, in March, you got March Madness.
Oh, yeah. Nothing better. Right on top of midcourt. Dawkins getting pressured by Adamensa. Bounce pass over to Davis. Davis pressured again, looking at that 5-second. Robinson called a timeout. He put his hands together for a timeout, but it was not granted. And they call a travel. Robinson not happy about the call at all. And again, in such a loud gym, it solely depends on the referee's ability. If he hears or sees Robinson call a timeout, then they grant it. But they did not. And Robinson tried to get out of a bad situation, and now the Rams have the ball to tie the game. No good. A risky 3 with 1:30, and now the Colts have it back. It's a tough shot. It's a gamble.
Might not have been the greatest choice, but he's been on fire.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't really been on fire, but the only thing is that he was on fire in the first quarter. He wanted that magic back. He wanted that spark. It's Green. Goes up and in, and that's where the gamble pays off for the Colts. 5-point game, 1:10. Going back over, fires it inside on Amensa, high off the glass. Second chance, airballed it, and it goes back to Green. Now they take their time. No shot clock. Cumberland can wait. And finally, Lamont Robinson gets his timeout. It wasn't granted on the first time that he wanted it, but now he gets to talk to his gentleman. 58 seconds left, 49-44. We'll take a quick break here from Cumberland Regional High School. Colts lead by 5. Coming back from timeout. Oh, that's super loud in here. Gloucester Catholic, if they lose tonight, will fall to 8-9. They'll still be 4-2 in the Tri-County Royal. They play Shawnee on Saturday the 31st. They play them at 11:30 a.m. And it's waiting for a player to get back onto the floor. They play them in the Holy Cross Prep Showcase. Then home versus Washington Township on the 2nd, Kingsway on the 3rd, GCIT on the 5th. So 3 straight Royal games as Josh Davis might have just put this game away. 7-point lead, 51-44. Now LaRubio goes up, ball comes out. Mosley, 5 steals, and that's the dagger. 9 points, 40 seconds. Rams will need a miracle. How about B.J. Williams stops on it? Good. And a stoppage as Brandon Doherty calls another timeout. So Josh Davis picks up the DJ Mosley steal, and it's the first points of the night for the former quarterback. We'll stay right here. Again, wrapping up Gloucester Catholic schedule, they only have 2 home games in the month of February. We mentioned Washington Township on the 2nd and then GCIT on the 5th. Then they're on the road from there on out. Gloucester City on the 7th, Clearview on the 9th, and then Deptford at 15-2 on the 11th. Taking a look at brief PowerPoints, in South Jersey non-public B, they right now sit 7th. Top 5 is Rutgers Prep, Holy Cross, Doan, Bishop Eustace, and Holy Spirit. Ranney is 6th, GC is 7th, and then 8 through 10 is St. Joe's Hamilton, which is eliminated. They are, they are disqualified for a fight that happened earlier in the season. Princeton Day is 9th, so they would take St. Joe's place, and then Nor Ul Iman in 10th. So Gloucester Catholic presumably would play either Princeton Day or Wildwood Catholic in the first round, as here comes a football pass blocked. They'll get another chance. Crawford does not get fouled. He'll go up and in as they continue to run this one up. What a way to put this game away. Back to a 9-point game. Williams, they'll chuck one up. Tanner airballed it.
That might be the dagger.
Mosley will hold. Jump ball. Where does this arrow go? They've got 10 seconds left, but the game's more or less over. What a run by Cumberland. I mean, you could put this game away in a million different ways, but Cumberland decided to do it with authority. They decided to do it cleanly. They didn't show off too much. They did everything that they could in their power as Green turns it over. Long 2, Williams can't get it to go. He picks up the rebound for Tanner, chucks up a 3. It's no good, and the Cumberland Colts have their 12th win. 55-46. As Cumberland seeks their first over 500 season since 2017, 8 years ago. It has been a phenomenal time to be here in Seabrook as they pick up a big win here in conference play, 55-46. Pat Crawford, 23 points, Caleb Green with 15. Not a lot of words can describe how good Cumberland was on defense. They took every opportunity that they could from the first tip to the last buzzer, and they just dominated. They didn't dominate the scoreboard, but they dominated defensively, and that's what won them this game tonight.
Yeah, Crawford all game just could not be stopped. I mean, the Rams have some tall guys, but Crawford is a big guy, and when he uses his size, it's really hard for anybody to guard him. But for the Colts, this is a great step in the right direction here for this program. Dan, you were saying earlier they were 21st in the Tri-County Conference last year, and now they look to have their first playoff home game in a while.
Yeah, I mean, they were 21st in South Jersey Group 3. They were dead last in South Jersey Group 3 last year. And the way that it works is that right now, I mean, they're 7th. They could get a first-round playoff home game against Seneca, an Olympic Conference team, if that holds. Right now, Deptford, Ocean City, Shawnee, and Timber Creek have the top 4. And Cumberland right now is 7th. Delsea and Morristown are ahead of them, and then 8, 9, and 10 are Clearview, Pinelands, and Seneca. And then Toms River East, Toms River South, Winslow, Mainland, and then the last 2 in are Cherry Hill West and Triton. So there is a whole lot to like about this Cumberland team. But Pat Crawford, what a night he had. He put up a double-double versus Vineland last week, or on Wednesday just 2 days ago, and now puts up a 23-point performance. What I liked about Cumberland was their adaptability, was their ability to be flexible. They shot a lot of threes in the first quarter because GC shot a lot of threes in the first quarter. They were reactive instead of proactive, and it didn't work for them. They were down by 7. So they regrouped, especially after being down by a possession at halftime, and they said, hey, let's figure it out. Let's get our stuff together, and let's find a way to be successful. And that's exactly what they did. They regrouped. got a lot of points down low, and that's what Crawford was able to do as they pick up a big win tonight here in conference play.
Yeah, I think for GC, this is not a horrible game for them. They still played really good, and I think they're just in a harder division. You know, they're not used to be playing this big of a schedule and this big the good competition here in the Royal Division. So I think they're going to get used to it. They got freshmen, you know, really good ones like B.J. Williams, and I think they're only just going to get better. So I'm really excited to see what they can do here.
Yeah, Brandon Doherty's a great coach. He's going to be even better. It's his third season here, but they do fall to 8-9 with a final score of 55 for Cumberland, 46 for Gloucester Catholic. That'll be all for us tonight. Our next broadcast will be JUCO women's basketball in a doubleheader versus the Atlantic Cape Buccaneers and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners. The women tip off at 12 and the men tip off at 2. Don't forget to tune in for our Holy Cross Showcase on Sunday as well, where we'll have 5 games from sunrise to sunset. It's going to be a great event. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Caleb Lane, Carson Rosso, and Fisher Giannotti, my producer, Javier Harris, my color commentator, Ben Wilden. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you at noon tomorrow from Sewell, New Jersey, as the final score tonight is Cumberland 55, Gloucester Catholic